it's Yesenia. Welcome back to my channel. I completely understand that it has been over a year since I last posted. It's been quite the school year. Things were so crazy last year. I didn't know if I was going to survive the school year. I'm going to be very honest about that. That is why I kind of took a break. I know my break really started when hybrid learning started during the 2021 school year. And that's because I was trying to, get back into the routine of things, heading to work, meal planning, and being at work the whole day. And that was so exhausting, especially after spending about 6 months working from home. And I know I have the summers off, but I never worked from home before, and it was quite the experience. And then this past school year, we were back in the building the whole year with all of our COVID protocols, and it was still crazy. I also moved last year. I'm in a completely different apartment. So a lot has changed. A lot has changed. A lot has happened. I am happy to report though that I'm still on my budgeting journey. I never stopped budgeting. Yes, there were periods of times where I did fall off the wagon a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It happens. It happens, especially last July, because I moved out June 30th, moved in here. I was paying moving expenses. I was still paying my debt. I was trying to pay off my car. That was the big thing, was my car. I still had that to pay off, and I was trying so hard because it was under $1,000. I'm like, come on, I can do this in 2 months. And then I also went on vacation last July. My family and I, my mom, my sister, and her sister, we all went to Vegas. We had a blast. So there were some expenses added there. Yeah, it's been a crazy year. We are now officially halfway through summer. It is Monday, July 18th, and yesterday was my birthday. So I'm really happy to report that I have one debt left. I'm gonna talk more about that later. I do have some things coming back to YouTube, I didn't want to just jump into hey, here's a budget with me, and because my priorities have definitely changed. I have definitely learned a lot on my budgeting journey over the last couple years, and I want to share that with all of you. I think the best place to start is, my starting point. I remember in August 2020, that was my starting point for my budget. And I say this because it really got me thinking. I had to pay for 2 necessities. So in August, I typically have my eye appointment. That's when my annual eye appointment is. I get a new pair of glasses, and then I also get a year's worth of contacts. It's just so much easier to get a year's worth of contacts and then not have to worry about ordering them again and then heading back over there when, and then if they're delivered, if they're gonna be delivered on a hot day, I don't want them sitting out in the sun. So I just get them. I just get a whole year's worth of contacts, and then that's it. In August 2020, my glasses and my contacts were over $600. And that was literally all I had left in my bank account. So and those are a necessity. I cannot work out, and I'm a PE teacher. I cannot exercise in my glasses. I can't. I wear bifocals, which is another reason why my glasses and my contacts are so expensive. I need them. I need both of them. I cannot work out in my glasses, but I also cannot spend the whole day wearing contacts. So I paid for them. And then after I paid for them, my bank account was empty. And I was freaking out because I was trying to figure out, how am I gonna pay for rent? I need some more groceries. I just got my dog Cupcake, and I'm like, she needs stuff too. This is not okay. Thank goodness after that, I got my paycheck, I got paid, and our raises came in. So I got a little extra money. And then in September 2020, that's when I really started looking at my finances, looking at how much money I was actually spending, tracking, seeing where all of my money was going. And I was really looking at, okay, these are annual expenses that need to get paid that I cannot cash flow because they're so expensive. I can't cash flow my glasses and my contacts. I can't. They're way too expensive to cash flow every year. It's starting to get up there. I'm gonna try to see if I can find somewhere else and see maybe if I can get a little bit of a cheaper price. Shopping around, reevaluating finances, seeing where you can still get quality service, but not have to sell your soul to the devil to pay for it. So that's when I really started, doing sinking funds. I looked at all my debts and I really took note of how much money was going to debt every single month. I was shocked. It was over $800 between 3 credit cards, a personal loan, my car loan, and my student loans. It was over $800, and that killed me. Like, it broke me. Oh my goodness. So yes, my starting debt, when I finally looked at all of my finances and I really looked at the number. Now, I am gonna say that this number was definitely higher, especially when I got my car. It was probably in the 60,000s at that point. But the point in September 2020, when I actually sat down, looked at all my debts, looked at all the balances, my starting balance in September 2020 was $43,159.76. And I was paying over $800, and I really wasn't making any, sorry about that. Got a smudge on my glasses, I had to clean them. So, debt. I also really started to take notice of how much money was going to the principal balance and how much I was paying in interest. So for example, my Victoria's Secret credit card, the minimum payment was $35. Did not realize that the $35 was only covering the interest and barely covering the principal. I would just overpay my monthly payments on all my credit cards, thinking like, okay, well, as long as I'm overpaying on everything, I should be fine, and I'm paying them on time. Not realizing that I wasn't using my Victoria's Secret credit card, but the balance just kept getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And that's because my $50 payment, $35 of it went to interest, and then $15 went to the principal. That broke me. I'm like, why is all this money going to interest? That's also the time when I really started evaluating my credit cards and asking myself, are they really benefiting me in the end? Yeah, I had to see, like, were they really benefiting me or were they hurting me in the long run? Now, I will say this, once I paid off my credit cards, I only had three, I was paying off 3. One of them was closed, 2 of them were still active. I closed them. That's where I was going. The Chase one was already closed, and the Victoria's Secret one and the Best Buy ones were not closed yet. They were still open. I also had to think about, because the Victoria's Secret and the Best Buy credit cards were my longest line of credit. Like, I got the Best Buy credit card in 2009. That's credit history is super important for your credit score and making your credit score go up. I had to make the decision. So there was a whole debacle with Victoria's Secret in 2020 and the Citibank credit card, and now I know this too. Like, to ask companies, like, because a lot of companies now have credit cards, I now ask, which bank controls your credit card? Because Best Buy, Citibank controls their credit card. And a couple of months ago, when I got my own Costco membership, they obviously tried to sell me their credit card, and I asked them, what bank controls your credit card? They're like, oh, it's Citibank. I'm like, nope, never mind. I don't want to do it. And the reason for that is they had horrible customer service. And this is, this all contributed to the reason why I wanted to close those credit cards in the first place. I called Best Buy to help because I couldn't gain access to my account online. So I called them and asked them for help. The first time I called them, they were really rude. They were saying like, oh, well, it's such an easy process. All you have to do is just transfer this, 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 and this. And I said, that's so weird because I think my credit card had gotten stolen, so I canceled it, and then they sent me a new one. But like with the new one, I couldn't access my account online. And they said like, oh, but it's a very easy process. And then I explained to them like, well, no other card company had to put me through this, process to access my account online again. I mean, it's the account number, not the credit card number. And they're like, oh, well, it's a really simple process, so it's just you who's having this problem. Like, what? Like, they made me feel bad. And I was still having trouble accessing my account online. And then a couple of months later, I called again, and the guy said, why do you need access to your account online? And I told him, that's none of your business. I have every right to access my account online. Help me now. And then once I got access to my account online, I asked them, hey, can you transfer me to the department that cancels accounts. I want to close my account. He's like, why? It did hurt my credit score in the beginning. It definitely did, to close both of those accounts, because those were my longest, credit cards that I had open. But Best Buy wasn't benefiting me. Like, I was getting no cash back. I was getting no rewards. I realized also that I never received a line increase. It was at $500 since I opened it up in 2009. I'm like, interesting. Anyway, and then I also I have a personal vendetta against Victoria's Secret. I think Comenity Bank controls their card. So I refuse to bank with Comenity, and I refuse to bank with Citibank. Doesn't matter the store. It's been quite the journey, but I definitely can say I learned a lot, and I can definitely say I'm moving in the right direction. So over the last 2 years, like I said, I paid off the Victoria's Secret credit card, paid off the Best Buy credit card, and then I paid off the personal loan. I had to take out a personal loan because I didn't finish paying for my master's. My master's was completely paid for out of pocket. I did not take out any loans except for this personal loan but I took out no student loans for my master's. And I still owed Northeastern like $3,000, and I didn't have the $3,000. So I took out a personal loan to pay them the $3,000 so that way they can release my transcripts, because I had just gotten a new job, and in order to get my starting salary, they needed my transcripts. Like, they needed proof that I got my master's. So I did that, paid that off too, and then I paid off my car loan. Oh my God, the day I paid off my car loan, y'all, it was amazing. It was a great day. The day when my title for my car appeared in my mailbox, oh my gosh, it was one of the best days of my life. I was so happy to get rid of that car note, because that payment, it was $416 a month. Like, that was the payment they were asking for. I was paying $500 just because I like rounding up, and it just made sense to me just to overpay. And towards the last few months that I was paying off that car loan, I was paying $800 a month just to get it paid off. And I did it. And then I paid off the Chase credit card. Now, in retrospect, I think I should have paid off the Chase credit card first, because that was the one with the highest interest rates. And that costed me a lot of money in the end. But I wanted to get rid of the car loan because that was my highest payment every month, if that makes sense. So I think, technically speaking, that's the debt tsunami method. So I started off with debt snowball, and then I kind of switched to tsunami, and then now I just have one debt left. I paid off the Chase credit card too. 5 debts gone in the last not 2 years, well, year and a half, almost 2 years. I paid off, $14,357.57 in debt over the last year and a half. And that was 5 debts by itself. I'm really happy to report that all I have left are my student loans, and I've actually started making payments. I'm not waiting until like payments have to start again. I'm starting now. And I did just read online that the student loan not forgiveness, but forbearance is over, and payments are going to start again September 1st. So at the very least, I have 1 more month where they're not going to charge interest. That should definitely help. Look, at this point, any little assistance I can get, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to appreciate it. So 1 more month with no interest, I'm going to take it. Currently, my student loans are at $28,805.19. The starting was $30,036.19. So I made about $1,500 in payments over the last couple of months. And I'm so proud of all the work that I have done. There were lots and lots of bumpy roads during my years of trying to pay off my debt. I actually am going to hit another bumpy road within the next couple of months, like for the rest of the year, because Cupcake, my dog, for those of you guys who don't know, I have a dog. Her name is Cupcake, and she's trying to sleep on the sofa, and I keep calling her name. She recently had a vet visit, and the vet pointed out to me that not all of her adult teeth grew in. She's missing some teeth. So that can actually be an issue, because if, let's say for, and this is actually the worst case scenario. So the vet wants to take x-rays of her mouth do a dental cleaning, especially her back teeth, because her back teeth are completely covered in tartar, and I keep brushing and brushing, and it's driving me insane. So I do want her to get a dental cleaning. She wants to take an x-ray. The vet wants to take an x-ray of Cupcake and see if, one, the teeth just don't exist, which is actually the best case scenario, because then no surgery needs to be done, or two, the adult teeth are there, they never grew in, and now they need to be extracted. Because in the long run, if the teeth are in there, that can be a potential for infections, for abscesses, and it could just cause way more medical issues in the future if they stay in there. So, I mean, that means that, like, yeah, her gums would need to be cut, and then the teeth, oh my God, and her teeth would need to be extracted. I am not mentally ready for it. I am not financially ready for that. So the potential bill for that is between $1,200 and $1,500. So it's gonna be another minor setback. However, I am gonna say this. I am not completely freaking out. A couple of years ago, if I had gotten this news and I hadn't started budgeting and I had no idea, if I was still in my old money spending ways, I would be freaking out. I would be trying to figure out ways. I mean, I'm still gonna try to figure out ways to save money, but like, I would have had a complete mental breakdown, because I would be like, how the hell am I gonna pay for this? This is something that she does need. Chihuahuas, and actually toy breeds, small breeds and toy breeds in general, have issues with teeth. And I've read lots of stories about Chihuahuas, like they're 15 years old and they have no teeth. And that's because the vet explained it this way. So they have really big teeth, but they have a really small mouth. So the bigger the teeth, the more surface area there is for bacteria to grow, which is why a lot of small breeds and toy breeds have teeth issues. It's not Chihuahuas mainly, but it's a lot of the smaller breeds in general. And I'm really trying so hard to get into the habit of brushing Cupcake's teeth 2 to 3 times a week to prevent this. You know, I want her to keep her teeth as long as possible because she loves eating everything. But I also don't want to go completely broke doing it. So obviously it's going to get done. It's going to get done. And if I have to pay the full $1,500 for it, I will, because she's 2 years old and I want her to have her best doggy life. And I think she'll do okay in surgery. She is fixed. I adopted her, and the agency I adopted her from, that was the deal when I got her. All of their dogs have to be fixed before they're adopted. That's the rule. So she did very well with her space surgery. Like, there were no complications. She recovered perfectly fine. And, you know, and there were like no issues afterward. So now I know oral surgery is completely different, but if she did well, especially going under anesthesia and then recovering afterward, after getting spayed, then, you know, the oral surgery, like everything should be no issue. That's what I'm hoping. So what I'm really hoping for is the teeth just don't exist. The teeth just don't exist. Sorry, Mean Girls reference. If you get it, please comment below. And honestly, that is the best case scenario, because then there's nothing to worry about. Then they don't have to go in, they don't have to cut her gums open, they don't have to extract anything. We just know that the teeth are not there. And then she'll just need a cleaning, EJOT, and then that's it. I think the x-rays will definitely be a one-time expense, provided that in the future her gums don't get infected. Now, this is a learning experience. Now I know in the future to prepare for something like this. So I actually upped, Cupcake has her own special savings account. She has her own sinking fund. And it's really funny because a lot of people, when I tell them that my dog has her own savings account, they laugh. They're like, why does your dog have a savings account? That's ridiculous. She's a dog. But then I tell other pet owners the same thing, and they're like, that is a very smart idea. I don't have insurance for Cupcake. I was thinking of getting insurance for her, and I was, looking at different insurance plans, seeing what they cover, and then I realized most of them don't really cover anything. And she is a very relatively healthy breed. She's a beautiful mix, and she really doesn't have any medical issues. Like, the main medical issues I foresee for her in the future are her teeth. I'm really hoping that they don't have to get pulled. So I'm trying really hard right now to make sure that doesn't happen. The vet keeps saying every year, you have a perfectly healthy dog. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So that's another little, I don't want to call it a snafu, but like it's another another little bump in the road to being debt free, because obviously that's potentially $1,500 that's not going to get paid towards my student debt. And I'm going to be very honest, I'm okay with that. I decided to adopt a dog. She's in my apartment, she's in my home, she's my daughter. I'm going to make sure that she lives her best doggy life, and that comes with expenses. So if I have to pay for those expenses, I will. I'm gonna ask my cousin. She works for the Paws Medical Center, and that's actually where Cupcake came from. I'm gonna ask her if at the very least they can do the x-rays over there, and then I'll just make a small donation. That'll save me about $600 alone. And if they can't do it, that's fine. Like I said, I am now in a place where I'm not having a mental breakdown and completely freaking out and trying to figure out how the hell am I gonna pay for her surgery. And that's actually a great place to be in. I cannot believe I'm in a place where paying $1,500 out of pocket is not gonna put me in financial ruin. And honestly, that is one of the best feelings in the world. It really, oh God, I'm gonna start crying. But it really is one of the best feelings in the world. That's my progress over the years. We're now down to $28,805.19 in student loans. Goals. I have reevaluated my budget and what I want for the future and what I want my future to look like. And I obviously have a lot more savings goals now, especially now since my debt is down significantly. It's not down to 50%, but it's down significantly. And I feel as though I have a much healthier relationship with my money. So I felt as though I can expand on my savings goals for the future. So obviously my very first goal, my number one priority, is to pay off my student loans. Everything else will get done when it gets done. And I actually talked to my cousin about this because she's starting college. Well, she already got her associates, but like she's going to university and she's trying to apply for scholarships. And I told her, hey, listen, if you need to apply for loans, do it, but start paying them off as soon as you possibly can. Like, don't do what we did and just wait and wait and wait. No. Start paying them off as soon as you possibly can. She's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, good. I think she will follow my advice. I have lots of family members, probably won't, but I think she will. That being said, I have 4 major savings goals that I do want to achieve. I do want to also reference that I am really not pro the Dave Ramsey method. Let me explain it this way. I do agree with some things that he has said. Do I agree with like the order that everything is in? No. I still want to be able to live my life while I'm achieving my goals. I know if I'm going on vacation next week, actually, and that vacation costed me $1,000 already. I know that could have been $1,000 that I could put towards my student loan debt. If this pandemic has taught me anything, it's life is short. I had several family members die from COVID. I've seen lots of people lose their jobs, and it's a small, corrupt world out there. I don't want to live in a bubble while I'm paying off debt. If I can afford, obviously if I can't afford to go on vacation, I'm not going to go. But I was able to pay off $1,500 to my student loan debts over the last couple of months, and I still can go on vacation, and I still put some money in savings. So I feel as though if I can do all of that, then I'm gonna do all of that. So I do agree with, and actually this is my first savings goal, I do agree with baby step number 1, $1,000 emergency fund. Now, I'm gonna say this. This is just my personal preference, my personal opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I don't agree with the $1,000 anymore. Because of inflation and because of everything that's happening and because, things are just way more expensive, I don't think $1,000 is enough anymore. I want to have a $1,500 emergency fund, immediate. So I have 2 separate savings accounts. I have one for my immediate emergency fund. So there was one time I needed to pay for a car repair. I had my car maintenance sinking fund, but there wasn't enough money in there. And then I used some of that money from my emergency fund to pay for the car repair. That's what that fund is for. I want to up that to $1,500. I will feel so much better with $1,500 in there. I don't think $1,000 is enough anymore. I just don't. everything is going up in price, and everything, literally everything. I just personally feel more comfortable with a $1,500 immediate emergency fund. That's my personal preference. It takes, after seeing the world over the last couple of years, I don't know what the future is going to look like, and I just feel a lot better with it. My second savings goal is a $500 buffer in my checking account. Now, I know, and this is where I think Dave Ramsey will disagree. And there's lots of interpretations of a zero-based budget. I think his interpretation of a zero-based budget is there's literally $0 in your checking account because all money has been accounted for. I don't agree with that. That thought terrifies me. I agree with the budget mom. She has a $1,000 buffer in her checking account. That terrifies me too. I have a feeling that if there was $1,000 in my checking account and it was just sitting there, I would be more tempted to spend it. And it's supposed to be there for emergency. That terrifies me too. So I feel like having $500 in my checking account at all times is a good place for me to be. It's enough money where if something comes up, I have a little extra money to cover it, but it's not so much money where I'm like, ooh, there's money in here. What can I spend it on? Because we've all had those thoughts. I know you have, I've had. So I feel like that's a good happy medium. Well, I'm not there yet. Right now, at the very least, I'm just rolling over $100 because that $100 is gonna cover anything like if I go over in groceries, if a bill was higher than expected or something. That's what that $100 is there for. So I'm not focused on the $500 buffer right now. I'm really focusing on paying down student loans, beefing up Cupcake's savings account, and putting some money away in my $1,500 immediate emergency fund. My third savings goal is I want to get 1 month ahead in my fixed expenses. I'm not worried about variable expenses. I'm really focused on I need my bills to be paid. And then, especially in my profession, teachers, especially in the city of Chicago, they go on strike a lot. Our contract is up for renewal this year. Our union is currently bargaining right now with our school district, and I really hope that we can come to an agreement and we don't have to go on strike, but once again, being prepared for the future. And that's why I have these goals. So especially for the future, if I'm 1 month ahead in my bills, if we do go on strike, provided that I'm still working for that school district in the future, I already have the money to pay, to make sure that my rent is paid, to make sure that my utilities are paid, and then everything else is paid. That will give me peace of mind. I actually started this fund. There's maybe $50 in there, but hey, $20 here, $25 there, $30 here. It adds up. So it's not a focus right now, but I am still contributing to it. Maybe not that much, but it adds up in the end. So 1 month ahead in fixed expenses. My last savings goal, and this is the ultimate big one, is my 3 to 6 month emergency fund. So I want to have 3 to 6 months salary in a separate savings account for the future. If there's one thing this pandemic has definitely taught us, is to definitely have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. If I make it to 15,000, no. When I make it to 15,000, and that's really, all I can put in there. Obviously I want to put more in, I will be okay at 15,000. My ultimate goal is 20,000. If I'm at $20,000 for and I think that's even more, more than 6 months, it may be 7 or 8 months for me. But if I reach 15,000, I'll be okay. If I reach 20,000, even better. And then obviously I'm just not going to stop. Maybe I'll stop contributing to it because eventually I do want to buy a home, but I want to make sure I have 6 months worth of expenses in a separate account before I buy a home. Yeah, and if you guys may have noticed, buying a home is not in my near future right now. I don't know what the housing market is going to look like, but I want to make sure that all of this is taken care of first before I even consider purchasing home. My one ultimate goal is I want to adopt some more dogs in the future. I want Cupcake to have a companion. I think she needs one. But I also want them to have a backyard. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know, and also I don't know what that's going to look like. And with the state of the world, I don't know where we're going to end up. There's just so much uncertainty right now. I do know one thing for certain right now is my current apartment, my landlord told me that she will not raise my rent as long as I live here. Hallelujah. That is a big weight off my shoulders. I was really concerned because my lease, I've been here over a year now. My lease renewed July 1st, and she asked me in April, like, hey, you know, we have some people, they're looking for apartments. She's like, I know your lease is not up yet. I just wanted to ask if you're staying or not. And then she said, don't worry, we're not gonna raise your rent, it'll stay the same. And then I spoke to her again in person, and she said, yeah, so your rent is gonna stay the same as long as you live here, and then we're gonna raise it like for the next tenant that comes in. Hey, it's her business. That was the weight. I seriously thought my rent was gonna go up so high because of all the, because of the state of the world right now. So that is a huge weight off my shoulders. So I'm gonna be in this apartment for the next couple of years. Cupcake and I are not leaving. And actually, this is just too good of a deal to pass up. I get to walk to the gym. There's a Jewel right there. I get to walk to Jewel whenever I need to go grocery shopping. My work is a 25 minute drive, maybe 30 minutes in traffic. It's really not that bad of a drive. It's too good of a deal. And then the rent is actually, a lot of people are saying I'm overpaying. They're probably right. I'm paying to live in this area, and I'm paying for some of the luxuries that I didn't have in my old apartment. My old apartment didn't have a dishwasher, didn't have central air. I had to pay for laundry. I was on the 3rd floor. The laundry was in the basement. That was a bust. I didn't have a back patio. I really couldn't walk I had to drive everywhere because it was such an inconvenient location. It was a good 40-minute drive away from work. It was not good for my mental health. So moving here, so much better. What have I learned? I learned a lot. I learned that things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen, and it's okay for things to happen. It's being prepared. I came a long way in my budgeting journey, and I know it barely started a year and a half ago, but I've come such a long way. The fact that I'm down to one debt at this point, I have some money in my savings accounts. I have several savings accounts. I'm in a much better place than I was when I was in my 20s. I kind of beat myself up because I realized that if I had budgeted my money better when I first started working, like when I first started teaching, I wouldn't have student loan debt right now. It's okay though. Things happen, we live, we learn, and then we prepare for the future. That's all we can do. So my next video is going to be a budget with me because it is the middle of July. If you guys probably have forgotten, I am a teacher, and my school district pays us year round, and we get paid bi-monthly. So they take my salary, they divide it by 24, and then that's literally my paycheck throughout the year. And we get paid twice a month on the same day every month. So I am getting paid this Friday. I also have a new side gig. I decided to start teaching group exercise classes again, and it's actually so much better than Uber. It's no wear and tear on my, it's still wear and tear on my car, but driving for Uber and Lyft, way more wear and tear on my car. And like the inspections and everything, it was just too much of a hassle. I go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week anyway. Why not get paid for it? And working at the gym has actually helped me to achieve a lot of my goals this year. I started again in November, and I'm still doing it. So during the summer, I'm not teaching summer school. Did not want to this year, no. But I am teaching group exercise classes, and I am making some pretty decent, side income from that. Figured I go to the gym anyway, I might as well get paid to do it, right? There's that. I'm gonna be budgeting both paychecks because both paychecks are coming in on Friday. So my job at the gym is actually a bi-weekly paycheck every other Friday. This month was not a magic month because my gym, the pay is not on it wasn't the 1st, the 15th, and the 29th. It was the other 2 Fridays. So I will actually get a magic month for my gym income in October. I didn't make the schedule. Look, I still get paid. That's all that matters to me. But I will be budgeting those paychecks on Thursday. And yeah, so that'll be my next video. All right, guys, if you made it to the end, thank you for making it to the end. This was a big update. I know I was gone for such a long time. It's been such a rough year. It's been such a tough year too, and I'm really hoping that now, since I'm back into the swing of things, this next school year, it's gonna be tough, but I'm really hoping it's gonna be better. My little one wants to take a nap, so I'm gonna go lay down with her before I actually go to work later on today. All right, y'all, bye, have a great day.